The CFL's need to attract more fans, specifically younger fans, is probably the most pressing issue the league is currently facing. So you can bet when the CFL announced sweeping rule changes that will take effect over the next 2 years, the first question on many people's mind was, will this really bring in new fans? Well, according to the Commissioner Stuart Johnston, those rule changes were just step one of their multi-step plan to grow this league into a, quote, top North American major professional league. And there's no doubt video games play a huge role in reaching the next generation for every major professional league, which is something fans of Canadian football have been asking for a long time. Despite rumors in 2012 that Madden's developers had created a working CFL game internally, the league has never had a licensed simulation-style game for console. Yeah, they've experimented with mobile games and once came out with a low-budget PC game in '98, but they've never actually produced a high-quality CFL game for Xbox and PlayStation, which is the ultimate way to attract younger fans. Of course, the CFL's relatively small market size and major differences from American football are why this idea has never become a reality. But the new rule changes change everything. The CFL could now realistically partner with EA Sports, whether it be with Madden or college football, and simply be downloadable content, a DLC where players can pay an extra fee after buying Madden or college football to play the CFL game. The key here is EA wouldn't need to build a new game from the ground up. Instead, they can use one of their already developed football games as a base, and thanks to the rule changes, now it wouldn't take as much resources to convert it to a CFL game. With the goalposts moved out of the way, EA doesn't need to write entirely new lines of code for players interacting with them or balls hitting them. Having a field that closer resembles the American field will also allow EA to take the time they would have spent putting benches on the same sidelines, adding an extra 10 yards to the field, 10 yards to the end zones, and altering the dimensions for Montreal and Toronto, and spend that time developing key rules to the Canadian game, like the waggle, yard off the ball, no yards halo for returners, the rouge 3 downs. And of course, before EA would have needed to completely change how the clock worked. But now, the clock works exactly like their Madden in college football games, so all they need to do is simply adjust it to 35 seconds. For this idea to really work though, the CFL shouldn't be worried about making as much money off this as possible. They need to make sure EA puts as much resources as possible into this game, then let them have most of the financial benefits. As a video game teaches people about your league's players, teams, history, there is so much more value in a video game outside just profit. It also totally makes sense for the NFL to put this game alongside Madden, as any CFL fan who wants to play a CFL game would have to buy the NFL game first. It is a total win-win for all parties involved. Heck, there's literally a section on the CFL website labeled EA Sports Madden. Now there is another way a game could still happen, even if the NFL or EA still don't want to play ball. And I'm not talking about 2K, as much like EA, I don't think either would build a CFL game from the ground up. I'm talking about a possible agreement with Maximum Football. But personally, I think the CFL should go big with EA or go home, and maybe try again in a couple years. Because right now, Maximum is not close to EA in terms of gameplay, so if the CFL really wants to position itself as a top league and gain new younger fans, they need to release a game at least on par with Madden, so people can judge the CFL based on if they're enjoying the rules. Not just looking at the game as worse right off the bat, simply because it's a lower budget and therefore lower quality game. However, if 5 to 10 years from now, Maximum Football has improved to where it's much closer quality to EA, that certainly would be something worth looking at, but right now, it's just not there yet. If you want a CFL game or think it's necessary to grow the league, please like and share this video, as it's the only one on YouTube right now talking about this huge growth opportunity that the CFL continues to overlook. Thanks for watching.